Fraud trial in New York that could have major implications for his family's business. His eldest daughter Ivanka is also getting ready to testify, says ABC's Aaron Katersky, citing her deposition.
Like her brothers, Eric and Don Jr., Ivanka Trump claims to know little about the financial statements a judge determined fraudulently inflated the value of the family's real estate to secure favorable insurance rates and bank loans.
I've never prepared one. I don't know. I've never made one. I'm not an accountant.
She said she doesn't know anything about her father's personal financial statements either.
The NBA's in-season tournament got underway last night. Commissioner Adam Silver told ABC's Good Morning America.
It's a tournament within the season, and the idea here is we're taking games that are already regular season games, and we're designating them as in-season tournament games. So, for example, they start tonight. The Knicks are one of those teams playing the Bucks.
The championship is set for next month in Las Vegas. Each team uses a distinctively painted court, but this was not flawless. Dallas Mavericks forward Grant Williams felt that something was off with his three-point shot during Friday morning's practice. Turns out there was something off with the court. The three-point line was painted too far back on the court in Denver. It was fixed prior to last night's game. This is ABC News.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
KYNT, Yankton, FM 1021 and AM 1450, Yankton's home team.
You are listening to the Coach's Corner Show on KYNT, Yankton's home team. Now, let's get you caught up on Yankton High School athletics with KYNT Sports Director and the voice of the Bucks and Gazelles, Bryce Ladwig.
Hey, good morning. This is the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig in the studio, 1019 Broadway Avenue. The Yankton Bucks are going to the Dakota Dome. Congratulations to Yankton football, defeating T-Area last night 33-25. One heck of a game. One of the best in recent memory. And not just because of the end result and the implications, but just overall, every quarter going back and forth. One punt the entire game. We'll talk to the coaching staff about that moving forward. But I have Yankton High School Activities Director Ryan Moores in the studio with us. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bryce. How are you?
Let's try that again. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bryce. How are you?
It helps if I have your mic on.
Probably not being muted is probably, I guess, a good thing, right?
Just yell really loud.
Yep.
We'll pick it up on my mic. Hey, so last night, let's talk about the crowd first. Great showing for Yankton at Crane. Never expected anything different, obviously.
Absolutely. You know, you get home field advantage for that semifinal game, and that's exactly what we expected. Mother Nature cooperated. What a beautiful fall evening. You know, temperatures in the 50s during the day, fell to the 40s maybe.
Crisp, but not cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what you would expect for a fall football game. So very comfortable night. Fantastic game. Atmosphere was good. T brought a nice crowd. Yankton crowd obviously showed out really well. Our student section was fantastic. The band did a great job. So all in all, it was a great night for Yankton High School and for the community of Yankton.
Another shout out, I want to give a shout out to the T administration staff and their sports staff. And I know the crowds like to get in each other, you know, friendly fire, so to speak. But I will say that providing stats last night, and they've just been really, they're a great help when we were at T, and then last night. It's just really nice when they kind of reach across the aisle, so to speak, and help each other out. So, again, thanks to Pete Roberts of T Area High School for his help last night. But back to the Yankton side here, Ryan, just as you said, a great night. And I know you have some dome information for us. I got the email last night, so you must have been going right back to the office typing it up, right?
Yeah, it was a late night. Never got back home about 12 o'clock after being in the office. You know, it takes a while to get everybody out of Crane Youngworth, first of all. You know, you have obviously celebrate the win and get some pictures and let the seniors spend one last time on that field, because that's, of course, the last time they'll be out there. And of course, when by the time you lug everything back across town and get it put away and then get your information from the state and send it out, next thing you know, it is midnight. So Very exciting, though, for the community of Yankton. So obviously this morning, ticket sales started at 8 a.m., and those were online only at goyotes.com/tickets. goyotes.com/tickets. Started at 8 a.m. this morning. I've already had some text message conversations with some people that said it went very smooth. So if a person's not comfortable ordering online, then the ticket offices are available Monday morning, and they can call over to USD starting at 9 a.m. And that number over there is 605-677-5959. Again, 605-677-5959 if you would rather order by telephone instead of online. But
is that information in the email you had sent out?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll repost it on our socials.
Perfect. Yep, that'll be right in there. So should be plenty of seats for everybody. Yankton will be the visiting team over in Vermilion next week at the Dome, since we're the 2 seed and Pierre is the 1 seed. The side that we'll have is the east side, which, if you're not totally familiar with the Dome, it's the old side, so to speak, where the adults used to sit, and across the way was where the student section sat. The students are now integrated into the adult section in a certain area. Talked with Pierre's AD, Brian Mosier, because they've been there just a couple times here recently, so give me a little bit of a lowdown on how things are going to work. But yeah, it should be real fun, and there's an opportunity for people who are interested in purchasing a suite. There's some information you'll see on that online too, and you can also dig into that on the USD's website. So lots of prep this week for the football team, obviously, and then we'll get over there later this week and have fun. Kind of works out nice too. There's no school in Yankton on Friday just because of the way Veterans Day falls this year. So coaching staff and the team can kind of organize their day a little bit differently with no school that day too. So looking forward to a fun week here for sure.
Love to hear it. And just to emphasize what you said, Yankton on the older side, and Pierre will be on the newly renovated / kind of the suite side, the new side. If as Ryan said, if you're not very familiar with the new layout of the Dakota Dome. Ryan, there's been a lot of sports that have ended at Yankton High School, and I really should have written them down, so I'm sorry. But just kind of in general, the fall is coming to a close. You have football and volleyball still going as far as athletics are concerned. And then you also have winter literally right around the corner, because that's how it works, right? One's going to end, and they're all going to pop up.
And actually, there's some overlap because gymnastics practice started this past Monday, so you'll have to ask Coach Olson how he's holding up with gymnastics in the morning and football in the afternoon, and now he gets to do that for another week, which I'm sure he's more than thrilled to continue that on. So yeah, the volleyball regular season ended on Thursday. The Gazelles finished the year really strong, winning 9 of their last 10 matches. Lost a tough one up at Watertown, Watertown's really good. They're the 4 seed currently. It appears that our Gazelles are going to probably end up going to Sioux Falls, Washington. We're right now the 14 seed. Washington's the 3 seed. There are still some games that need to be played today before that gets locked in. So we'll have more information coming out later in the week. But the Sodex 16 game is Thursday of next week, the day before the Dome. So most likely the girls will end up going up to Sioux Falls, Washington. And you're right. Everything else has come to a screaming halt. I know both of our basketball coaches and our wrestling coach are getting things ready to roll, because you kind of go on 1 week at a time here. After we get done with the weekend at the Dome, wrestling practice starts on that Monday. I believe that's the 13th without having the calendar right in front of me. The following Monday is already the Monday of Thanksgiving week, and that's when girls basketball starts. And then the Monday right after Thanksgiving, boys basketball starts. So it's going to be, rapid fire here over the next few weeks, just starting one winter sport after the other. But a very successful season for our fall sports teams. The fall is such a busy time of year with all the activities that are going on. And you know what? We had the fall play mixed in there. All-State Choir and Orchestra also mixed in there. The marching band had a great season, so they just wrapped up their year back this week on Monday with their indoor marching band shows. So fine arts and athletics at YHS are just flying through the school year.
Yeah, it's going by fast. Excuse me. It never ceases to amaze me how fast the activities seem to go, at least from my perspective.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I can imagine you and I always just every year I make the same joke, but I imagine that, especially when you have cancellations in the winter, you have one of those detective cork boards, and you're just strings over here and over here trying to figure out dates and stuff. But
for sure.
Hopefully this is a more mild winter than the last one.
Well, knock on wood, we'll hope so. But, it's inevitable. We'll end up with some postponements and reschedules from time to time, because Mother Nature will do her thing, and we'll just have to adjust accordingly.
But last year was historic.
Last year was a challenge for sure. Yep.
Ryan, thanks for joining us. Go get some pizza, talk to the football coaches, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming in.
All right. Thanks, Bryce. Have a good day.
All right. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
I'm Father Lacey, and hiking allows me to show my faithful spirit. Being out in nature allows all of those things to work together in my head so I can see how it's all connected. To be able to take these things that I'm pondering and draw them back into the ministry, into that life here at Mount Marty.
Show your spirit at Mount Marty University and schedule a tour today at showyourspiritmmu.com.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Wherever you are in life, you've got plans. You need health insurance for today and for the future. You need Avera Health Plans. Coverage that connects you to community resources, fitness center incentives, and health coaching. You need a health plan that provides solutions for your business and for your family. Learn more at averahealthplans.com. Avera Health Plans, moving health forward.
Truxedo is proud to have been part of the Yankton community since its start in 2000.
One of the things I love most is that they believe in promoting from within. I've been given many opportunities to advance.
Truxedo has an extensive variety of benefits available to their employees.
The work environment at Truxedo is extremely positive.
We are looking for you to join our production team. Visit www.truxedo.com/careers to apply.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966, and with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests, Olson Pest Technicians can treat and cure them. Right now, they can provide grain fumigation on the farm and do one-shots for homes to keep pests out for the winter. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KIL-BUGS.
Hi, this is Rhonda Westland with State Farm Insurance in Yankton. It makes me feel good when a client says thank you for saving me money on my insurance, or thank you for taking the time to explain why I need more insurance. Now it is my turn to let you all know that I am thankful for each and every one of you, and to say thank you to all my valued customers. From my team and myself at my State Farm office here in Yankton, we wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving and a safe and happy holiday season.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's start talking Yankton Bucks football. Coach Brady Muth, Coach Justin Olson in the studio. Coaches, good morning.
Good morning, Bryce.
Good morning, Bryce. Hey, congratulations. Going to the Dakota Dome, and just a big deal. I know that the excitement on the field, the celebration was huge. Just kind of what's the morning after feelings for you guys?
Well, it's good. My voice is starting to come back a little bit. You know, I had to make sure I got to get prepped for this show, of course, you know, but no, it's
priorities, right?
Yeah, you know, the celebration was great, you know, and it's one of those things where after a battle like that, you know, there's a lot of emotions that played out in that game. You know, you go from excitement to frustration to what the heck to and the one thing I say, the one emotion there wasn't any panic, and that was huge on the kids' part and on our part as the coaching staff. Which everything was calm and cool, and you know, it just played out that way, and you know, at the end it worked out, and we're super excited. Celebration came through, and the next day, you know, we're still kind of, you know, talking about some things, but it's great.
Well, and like whenever there's a loss in my house, I always get reminded, like, hey, the sun came up, but if you look outside, the sun's a little brighter today. It's okay.
A little extra brighter.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those back and forth matchups. You mentioned a roller coaster ride, Coach Olson. Yankton 33, T-Area 20-5. And what I liked most about it was, I mean, not that they ever would, but it didn't really go down into like the hands of officials or a couple calls that someone's going to point out and stuff. And yes, there's the one at the end, but which was a forward pass. But I would say that it really was the two teams on the field going back and forth the entire duration of the game. It's a classic matchup. Yankton punched their ticket to the Dome since 2015, where they beat Pierre in double overtime. In case I need to remind you two that we're literally there, but. Last night, another thing, just one punt the entire matchup. Turnovers and touchdowns. That was the key to the game. Oh, and like 18 blocked extra points between the two teams. I don't know.
Yeah, and one punt, and what a great punt. I mean, before the game, just every coach you talk to, that we play, they always talk about our special teams and ask how we, handle our special teams, and there's a lot of things that go into it, but the big thing is that our guys have a lot of pride in what they do and how they operate on the field on our special teams, and that what Josue did, that's a skill that he's been working on for a long time. That wasn't just a regular old punt. It's designed to do that and stop and check up, and we would have downed it if he wouldn't have fair caught it. And so it was a smart play on his part, even though you're not supposed to do that inside the 10.
Right.
But we would have downed it, inside the 5 if he wouldn't have. But just Josue, just to be able to operate that in a big situation, really big play. Happy for him.
Is this one of the most intense games you've coached as a head coach of the Bucks?
I mean, it's up there just because there's a lot riding on it. But I mean, you talk to kids, and some of us have been fortunate enough to play for championships, and some of us have been fortunate enough to coach in championships. And so, as a coach that's been there, and a lot of the guys sitting in the other room waiting to go have played football, when there's a lot riding on it, and at a lot of different levels, but a lot of them have played for a championship in the Dome. And as a player and as a coach, that's all you want. You want your kids to have that opportunity, and everybody wants it. And so to be able to give them that, I mean, not that we didn't facilitate the thing, they did it on their own, but just to be able to be a part of it and play some role in helping them experience that, and is a big deal. And just, I mean, it makes everything worth it,
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head with that. That's kind of those experiences that we all have had and shared, and that you want every year for these kids to experience, because it is something special. And yet every time, I mean, I guess I'm speaking for myself, but every time that I've been there, either as a player or as a coach, the experience has been different. It's been special, but it's always been so different. Even back in the day when we had those back-to-back, each one of those times is different. Special and exciting. So that's how important this is, that they were able to get to their first goal. Okay, they checked that major one off, but then now to check off the second major one to finish the job will be fun and exciting too. So just looking forward to getting back out there, and it's as far as coaching wise, just to follow up on what Coach Moose said, as far as being like how intense it was, especially when on the defensive side of it, when you see the stat line of 53 rushes for 320 yards that your defense gave up. Yeah, you have to also thinking that they ran 53 times and threw 14 and completed 4 passes, maybe, or something like that. And
just taking my questions right now.
Sorry. But it's one of those things where in retrospect, I mean, that's what they did, and they did a very good job at running the football, and so they forced us into making adjustments. And hats off to our guys on the football field, the defensive side for sure, to make some key plays when we needed to, and didn't break. We bent a little bit. Still have some things to fix before next week, but I was very excited. It felt like a championship bout, and that's what Coach Muth always preached. This is the championship game. And then next Friday we get to the Dome and we just let it all hang out, and we just go with it. So exhausting, yeah, even though we didn't play it down, but we walked half that game, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know whether to celebrate a little more afterward or take a nap. But anyway, it worked out. We're super excited, and obviously you can tell that we're rambling a little bit more, and it's all good.
And I was only giving you grief, but yeah. So I was going to mention that. So when you're looking at the face value, any other week, 320 yards on the ground, it's like, ooh, that's a rough night. But any common sense would dictate that T was going to run. They're going to be successful in running. That's literally what they do. They barely go through the air. They that wing offense. 3 different players, 90+ yards on the ground. And the most impressive thing, though, Coach, from my perspective, was, you already mentioned it, was the bending, not breaking. But look at the time of possession last night. 33 plus minutes for T. Yankton, just at 14. Your defense was out on the field the majority of the game. No. The defense is on the field majority of the game, but the fact they were still hold as strong as they did and still get those key takeaways is just a credit to their longevity on the field.
Well, I mean, I would say that the possession isn't indicative of how we played. Yeah, the defense was out there a little bit longer, but coming in, knowing the offense and how they operate and the tempo that they do it at, and how that's actually such a tool for our team. That I wouldn't want that any other way. I mean, that's who we are. Play fast, tire them out. I didn't even notice this because I was trying to do some other things on when the offense was out there. But the coaches were saying they just kept on rotating the defensive line in. From last game that we played, they got so tired and they kind of figured that out. That hey, they got to rotate guys in, and that's the advantage that we do have and that our offense gives is that you're getting tired if you're not ready and you don't have depth. I mean, it's going to show up, and we're going to take full advantage of that. But the defensive guys, I mean, it was super proud of those guys because they had some opportunities to get off the field on a third down or on a critical play, and it didn't happen, but they didn't hang their heads. They said, all right, it's going to happen, and then when it did, they took advantage of it, and we got off the field, and the score tells us that we shut them down in the right times and got those turnovers. Carson Ness played one heck of a game and for us. Despite, I mean, everyone played a really good game, but that he's just kind of off the top of my head. You
can give credit where credit's due. He had an amazing.
On both sides of the ball. He was really good for us last night.
Shaler Platt 14 tackles, Carson Ness 7, Matthew Sheldon 7, Tucker Gilmore 7, 2 interceptions for Carson Ness last night, and no sacks, but the thing is still pressure on Conrad as well from the edge. The interior defensive line also did a nice job of really just trying to close the gaps from the running. A lot of T success running really came from kind of those outside edges as well. Talk a little bit about your interior defense.
Well, those guys have been good all year, and just coming in against T, we know what they want to do. They're going to pull guards and try to turn you and whatnot. And those guys, their job was. It wasn't glorious. It's just they're in there. They just got to try to stuff things up, stay lateral to the line of scrimmage, and then force everything back inside. And they did find some creases in there, and that's some other things that we got to fix up just a little bit. But those guys have been working all year, and then we added another one in there. We kind of threw Austin Conway into the mix as far as a halftime adjustment, and I thought he did a really good job on the nose. Especially as a young guy who hasn't played a whole heck of a lot of defense, stepped in for us on offense and did a heck of a job just getting thrown in. But he did a really good job coming in for us and allowing our linebackers to get freed up a little bit more to kind of fight that rushing onslaught that we faced.
And then Coach Muth, your quarterback, did pretty well last night. 14 of 25. Lucas Kamshoff, 282 yards in the air. 5 touchdowns, and to multiple receivers, different kinds of looks, different kinds of schemes, just really just showing his versatility.
I mean, we had talked, with Lucas throughout the week, and he gets his hands on the game plan, but we kind of told him going into this, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get a one high look, or we're going to get a cover zero. They're going to be flat, and so, I mean, they're daring you. They don't think you can beat them, and football is a team game. It's the world's best team game. I mean, it takes 11 people to work together to get things done. But he had a lot on his shoulders last night with the way that they played and the scheme that they play. Ball's got to come out quick, and it's got to be on point. And our receivers, too. I mean, finishing and making catches, finding open spots, and really playing through a lot of – I mean, it was a physical game out on the perimeter, too. There was some, holding, and people could argue that there might have been PI. It doesn't matter. Our kids – play through it, and that's what matters. And so just really happy, with the performance of all of that. And we tried like heck to run the ball. The other thing we kind of talked about with Lucas was you're going to have a lot of opportunities to run this game because when that clock goes off in your head and the ball's got to be out, but you can't find anybody, they're in man coverage, so all you see are the back of their jerseys. If there's a lane, tuck it and run, and he did it. I mean, he executed that perfectly. He exited the scramble drill and
huge first downs.
Yeah, I mean, and that in and of itself is a big deal last night because when they put that many people in the box, he has to be the ball carrier. And again, I mean, I think you have to be careful when you classify kids as this type of a player or that type of a player. He's an athlete, and if he's got the ball in his hands, we got a good shot. And he did a really good job last night of taking control of the game.
Receivers, 4 of them had a touchdown, at least one touchdown. Tucker Gilmore, 95 yards and a touchdown. He also, I think he messed up his knee a little bit, right? He came back, he had heavily taped going into the second half and still was able to be productive. And then Carson Ness, we already mentioned him, 2 touchdowns, 94 yards, some big catches that weren't in the end zone as well. Matthew Sheldon had the first touchdown of the game, that 53-yard just kind of go route, and he was able to find the end zone. Just a lot of targets for Cam Shuff last night.
Yeah, and and that's the one thing I really like about the way we operate is we try to get the ball in as many guys' hands as we can. When you look at our stat line, especially in the receiving part, the amount of guys that we have that have catches and touchdowns, like the guy that didn't get a catch last night is Zarbach, but he's got 3 touchdowns that he's caught for us.
I can't forget. I'm sorry, I forgot Austin Goebel. I don't want to leave the one. I was going down the. I was like, oh crap, Austin Goebel. All right, continue.
Right, but so those types of things. There are some guys that didn't get touches last night, but you can't just focus on one guy. Where a lot of times when you play teams, especially in high school at our level, there's one guy that you can kind of babysit and focus on, and you can't do that with us. And typically that X and that Y spot between, that'd be like Carson and Zarbach, and then Tucker's in the Y spot. Those 2 guys are going to have a lot of our catches because you got to take one or the other.
No, absolutely. Pierre next week, in case you didn't know. Dakota Dome, Friday evening. So the entire week you're going to be hearing, and I'm going to try to limit it on our talks, right? Talking about Pierre in that regard, okay? But, people are talking, like, they've been there a couple times in the last few years. And so they've been there. They're looking for their 7th AA title. Just kind of what are you looking for from your team's mindset heading into this week?
I'm always trying to figure out a deeper understanding of where our team is at. That's any team throughout the season, just so you know what they need, as far as the sports psychology aspect of it goes. But with these guys, I think I've got them figured out. They just want to go to work. That's all it is. They don't want pep talks. They don't want loud fancy music. They just want to go to work. And so our approach this week is, this is the one we want. We made a deal with ourselves. And we said if we get another chance, we're going to fight like heck to get another shot and see if we can solve Pierre. And people talk about how many championships they've got. That's great. They're doing things the right way out there, and they've got a heck of good athletes, and they got a great coaching staff, and they do things all the right way. But we do some things the right way too, and it's going to be a good week.
All right, Coach Olson, final thoughts?
No, I 100% agree with Coach Muth. It's that's what we want. If we're gonna beat someone that has built a program up to be one of the best in the state, and has that, I want to class that as a dynasty. I don't know if that's in high school football you can call it that, but just has a long a very polished program. And that's who you would want to play in the championship game. And I'm a big proponent of, you want to play if you want to beat the best, you got to play the best to be the best. And so that's what our mindset is. That's what our kids' mindset are, and they don't care. They don't care who it was or who it is, and we're just going to come in and do our work. And the outcome comes with a state championship title. That's going to be the pinnacle of our season, and that's going to be indicative of the type of leaders we have on this football team, from the seniors all the way down to the character of our team, and that's just how we're built. We don't care. We're just going to go out and play football and let it ride. So, but of course, play within the parameters of the game, and we'll give them a little pep talk every once in a while. So,
yeah, you have to have at least one pep talk, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, coaches, congratulations. Go get to work, get to film. We'll talk to you later at practice, and then we'll see you at the Dome later in the week. Thanks for coming in.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bryce.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Core Trust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. all from Core Trust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit coretrustbank.com today.
Member FDIC.
Mount Marty University Theater opens its season Friday, November 10th with the hit show You're in Town the Musical, a musical satire with an unfortunate title. The poor rebel against corporate power with lots of singing and dancing, underscored by a live pit combo. Showtimes are November 10th and 11th at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 2 in Marion Auditorium. Call 605-668-1234 for tickets. Mount Marty's You're in Town the Musical is sponsored by Aztec.
Vision Care takes pride in the products we offer. That's why we offer a wide range of stylish and protective sunglasses from your favorite brands like Ray-Ban, Oakley, Maui Jim, and luxury brands like Fendi, Gucci, and more. Our experienced team will help you find the perfect pair of sunglasses to fit your face shape, your style, and your budget. Protect your eyes and look great while doing it. Call today to schedule an appointment.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure? Then book your stay at Yankton's two best hotels, the Fairfield Inn and Suites and Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer complimentary hot breakfast and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and still be able to change your reservation without a hassle, call either hotel direct. The Fairfield and Holiday Inn Express, two great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
At Triple Time Rudy's, you get convenient access to quality fuel products. Plus, you'll also find quality South Dakota products like Dimmock cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. With a local-friendly feel and unique product offering, Triple Time Rudy's is your local convenience store that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers. For all of your daily fill-ups and convenience needs, pull into Triple Time Rudy's at 17th and Broadway.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Bryce Ladwig in the studio with Coach Terry Huber, Coach Brady Hale. Coaches, good morning, and first, congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning.
Heading to the Dakota Dome, and just a really special night last night. The victory over T33-25. Coach Huber, you joined us in the post game last night, so a lot of these are going to be repeat questions.
That's fine with me.
It's just the way of the game, man.
I enjoy talking about it.
Yeah. All right, well, where do we even start? That's one of the things. So let's start on offense. Yankton very productive, just one punt the entire night for either team. It was just back and forth. And I was talking to Coach Muth and Olson about this. It was also one of those games, at least from the media perspective, up in the press box, where it wasn't an officials game where you're looking at 2 or 3 calls. Everyone's up in arms about it. It was just back and forth. Turnovers and touchdowns and big stops. And that was just kind of the way of the game. Just the definition of a back and forth slugfest.
Absolutely. That's actually, when you talk about the refs not making a lot of calls, that's exactly how we want it. If it's fair on both sides, I think hats off to that crew last night. They were probably one of the better crews that we've had since I've been coaching here. They did a phenomenal job. Offensively, I thought our guys took it upon themselves to go out there and take that win. That's what I kept telling them. They're not going to give the win. They're not going to roll over. We can't just expect to win. We have to go and take the win. And, I thought our offense came together. They played like that team offense that I've been talking about all season that makes these guys so special, so fun to see out there, led by Camp. And it was just really, really incredible.
Let's start talking about Cam Shaw first. want to talk about on the ground or in the air? I guess we can start with the ground. We'll finish in the air because that's really fun. But we talked also last night about the fact that when they were crowding the box, T, that he did, and Coach Muth said this too, he had to become the running back, so to speak. And because they were keying in on Cirque the entire night. That's been going on for a few weeks now with these teams. They have their eye on number 16. But Kamshoff took it upon himself to get some big first downs and found plenty of real estate in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're going man across the board, it just makes sense for us to swing that running back out, see if we can screw up their man coverage, and then there's going to be running lanes there. I thought, the offensive line up front did a phenomenal job of blocking in camp. He's so comfortable in the pocket, stepping up there, and there were some big runs. We're watching replays in the room over there, and it's really fun to see him confident at both ends of the field, whether it's passing or running. But he, I thought on his legs last night were on fire.
And then Coach Hale, about Kamshoff's running as a quarterback coach, when you're looking at that, how much of that was kind of designed? How much did you expect him to have to tuck it going into the game, or is that something he kind of took upon himself?
Yeah, I think just it's understood when a team plays cover zero man defense like that, where they turn and run with all our receivers, that you're going to have an opportunity to run. So I think that was understood going in. I don't think we were attempting to pass the football when those plays happen, but Lucas is great at, okay, one guy here, he's covered, two here, okay, the clock's going off, all right, now I need to run. So he did a great job of that. And, it's nice to have that ability as a quarterback. He can move out there, so he did a great job.
Well, this Yankton offense seems to have as many offensive sets as like Texas A&M. So I will say, but out of multiple ones of those last night, Kamshoff, and either of you can take this one, 5 different touchdowns in the air, all different looks. That's what I was going at. It wasn't just the same kind of play, run it over until it doesn't work. It was all different kinds of looks, different receivers, just really showing his versatility as a quarterback.
Yeah, I think I'll start speaking on this. The multiple weapons that we have make this team even that more challenging to cover for an opposing defense. We can go through the line and, you talk about Ness, you talk about Gilmore, Goldwell, Pete, Slava, Zarbach. You got Cirque out of the backfield, Platt out of the backfield, Slacek coming in. There's so many guys that it's tough to just say, okay, we're going to go man up with a safety over top of Carson Ness or Tucker Gilmore. Well, that just leaves other guys open because his other guys are just as hungry, and they're going to go out and they're going to make the big plays. Like you said, it's not just a one formation. We have upwards of 60 formations that we're running out of. I'm not saying that we're an extremely complex offense by any means, but these guys have put in a lot of time and effort throughout the offseason, in season, so that they can have that down pat. So all they got to do is go out and play fast and furious on a Friday night, and that's just a testament to these guys and how much work that they have put in. To understand the offense and to be able to run it as smooth as they do.
Tucker Gilmore, 95 yards, receiving a touchdown, some big catches. Also, I mentioned this with Muth, but kind of seemed like he maybe twisted up his knee a little bit or something. Not sure, but he came out very heavily taped, was still able to perform, so hats off to him. Matthew Sheldon, the 53-yard touchdown to get things started. That was a good way to start the game for Matthew Sheldon. Austin Goebel, a really nice route into the corner. And then, of course, Carson Ness just having a game on both sides of the ball. Offensively, he had the 2 touchdowns, 94 yards in the air, 6 receptions, but also some of those receptions that weren't touchdowns were huge as well, just for yardage and moving the chains. Just he played out of his mind last night.
Absolutely. He wanted to be the best guy on the field, and I think last night I told him, I was like, why just on the field? Let's go be the best guy in the state. Embody that guy, and that's exactly what he did. And hats off to him. He's been growing and maturing, and I know, last year he wasn't really able to do as much with, the injury that he was dealing with. But this year he's really just said, I want to be that guy. I want to grow. I want to improve. You don't see arrogance with him. You see confidence. And that's exactly what we want to see. He had a phenomenal night last night.
Yeah, and then Coach Hale. So we mentioned just the one punt, but it was a really good one from Trujillo, pinning T down. And then let's talk about that first, and then I'll let you transition however you want into the second. Get my 3 extra points blocked, and then the missed extra point, obviously. But and then T also had one blocked on Yankton. Just a weird night special teams for both sides of the ball, but however you want to take that.
Yeah, just the punt first. That's a big play in the game. They sent 9 guys at it to try to block it. And thankfully that kid caught the ball inside the 5-yard line for us. So I'm not sure if we would have had the ability to down it, but it worked out in our favor. Sometimes when you execute the things you're supposed to execute, some things go your way. So that was a good job by Josue there, and then just our protection team giving him the time to get the football off. Yeah, and those extra points. I mean, I thought the officiating crew did a great job the whole night. If I could have changed one thing, it would have been the way that T was rushing our extra points was right next to our long snapper. So, I'm okay with them not calling that, but ideally we get that shirt up by next week because I promise you it's probably going to happen again. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they were just rushing right next to our long snapper, and that kind of caused some problems. So we'll get that shirt up, but our kick block team, like Austin Goebel, being able to come off the edge and block their PATs
twice
in return to them blocking ours. I mean, it's momentum play. It's a huge difference being down 7-6 or 6. You know what I mean? So having that extra point is a big deal. And as we go through the playoffs, every single point is going to matter. So
you should have seen me in the booth last night doing broadcast math. So once you start going to non-traditional football scores, right? I started going like, all right, T trails by.
Yeah.
So it'd be one possession. Yeah, one possession.
Yeah, carry the one minus
divide by
6.
2.
It's simple math, but when you're trying to talk fast, you're like, wait, it would be one possession. Okay, good. Yeah, it's just trying to
44.
like trying to find out seed points and standings. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a C- in algebra. I have no idea what's going on around here. No, but that one heck of a night. Rushing another week where I mentioned before that. The secret might be out on Evan Sirk and how fast he is. So a lot of guys, they're just keying in on him, or kind of what's going on with that.
Yep.
He had some good runs last night up the middle. Eventually was able to kind of work some things out, but early on seemed to be stuffed at the line.
Yeah, absolutely. They were packing 7 guys in, and still eyes in a little bit on their man coverage with that walk-up backer out there. And it's one of those nights where we just knew, when they go that way, they're saying we're going to take away the run because – I mean, you're going 5, 6 on 7. Well, those numbers don't add up. Those numbers add up to us throwing the football, and so that's we're going to run the ball. I think we still put up 100 yards of rushing on there. I know a lot of those were camp tucking and going, but we had some outside zone plays. Had a nice swing pass to Goebel there. That I still I'm still proud of these guys, and like you said, it's a testament to Sirk and Platt that these guys they're nervous. They're nervous about you guys. They know that you can take over and win a game. So they're going to try to sell out and take you guys out, but that helps everybody else out. And that's why I keep telling these guys, and they've bought into the fact where we have to be a completely balanced offense to be able to throw the ball whenever we want to, be able to run the ball whenever we want to, because you never know what the defense is going to come out and try and do. It's a big chess game that way. And, I just think the love these guys have for each other, they were there for each other last night. And, with Sirk, the one thing I love about him is how fast he is. In all of our pass plays, very rarely are we keeping him in to block or to help out inside. Normally he's out there because if he gets the ball in space, I don't care if he's catching it 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, he's going to go get some yards because that's just the guy he is. So hats off. I thought he had a very physical, strong game last night. I think he still averaged 2.5 yards a carry, which is phenomenal. I mean, a lot of teams are happy about that.
2.4.
Yeah, 2.4. Okay, so a lot of people are extremely ecstatic about that. He wants more, and that's completely fine. I love the fact that he has those high goals, and I'm excited to see what he brings out this week.
Well, the fact is, teams still have to account for him, and that's a credit to him on its own. They're not just like, well, whatever. He hasn't had that many yards the last couple of weeks. They still know that he is a dangerous weapon.
Absolutely.
And, 2 quick questions for you. We'll get you both out of here. I was talking to Coach Olson kind of about the time of possession for T, 33 minutes to Yankton's 14, kind of the defense being on the field most of the night, and credit to them. That's the whole point. But I didn't even think about this, the inverse of that question, the offense for Yankton not being on the field that much. How did the team kind of, obviously mentally they're in it. I know that they're very engaged, but there is a difference, right, between being on sideline and being on the field. How do they kind of keep loose? Just kind of what was that like?
Absolutely. And that's a lot of times if you'll see, I don't like to stand like within the commotion of everything. I like to give the defense their space. And I've noticed these guys like to start. They're starting to do that. They're cheering their guys on, but they're watching. They're staying locked into the game. They're not hanging out on the bench. They're not messing around on the sidelines. They're locked in, and they know no matter what happens, defense gets a stop or not, we have one job, and that's to go score some points. So every time I see them, like you said, it may be an 8-minute drive that our defense is out there. They are locked in for 8 minutes, ready to go. They're hungry at the bit, and they're trying to get out there and score some more points. And that is another thing that it's this team, they're so bought in. It's so impressive to me.
Beginning of the year to now, one thing I noticed was not struggle, but Yankton, maybe the first few drives wouldn't get on the board, right? It's kind of a slower start, but how important was it last night and the latter half of the season, but last night to get a score in that opening drive?
Yep. First down, we've been harping that now for quite a while, and they know my expectation on first down. We have to get after it. There's no way that we can sit and wait around. We can't let them get any hope. We got to be out fast and furious and firing on all cylinders. We say fast and physical. That's how we run our offense on a Friday night, and they've been doing a phenomenal job. I think, like you said, maybe early on it wasn't being bought in as much, and then as soon as it happens, they realize, okay, this is what it means to come out and fire right away, so that we can have this standard set from play one all the way through the rest of the game, and they've done a great job of owning up on that. So hats off to them for that.
All right, final question. You can get as specific or not specific as you want, but from where you saw Pierre in the regular season matchup for the film that I know you've seen already coming into, where you're about to go do film again, has a lot changed as far as their defense is concerned? Are they kind of still doing the same thing?
No, they're going to be very similar to what we saw. Obviously they're going to throw some wrinkles in there like every team does. It's the state championship game. Anything can happen in this game, and everybody knows that. There's going to be tricks pulled out by the defense, by the offense. And, our guys, we're going to go out and we're going to play our football. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to scout them up the best that we can. But ultimately, when we get there, it's a football game. We're going to have to play football. We're going to have to adjust, and it's going to be fun to see that.
Coach Huber, Coach Hale, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on the Dakota Dome. And go to film, because I know Coach Muth probably doesn't want me to keep you any longer. So I appreciate you both coming in. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
Attention homeowners, if you've been on the fence about selling, I'd love the opportunity to sit and visit with you. With low inventory, now would be a good time to call me, Deb Speck at Vision Real Estate. I'll provide you with a free market analysis and a no-pressure approach. Call me at 605-664-5555 to find out if now is the right time to make a move.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
The start of a new school year is a good time to evaluate your children's healthcare needs, whether it is a doctor's checkup, replacing EpiPens for serious allergies, or renewing prescriptions for inhalers to treat activity-induced breathing problems. Hi, this is Michael from Yankton Rexall, and we pride ourselves in providing accurate prescriptions and appropriate medical information for your child's health. Good health contributes to good students.
Celebrating 100 years, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, Yankton Rexall.
It's time for your seasonal flu shot. Flu vaccine is recommended for all those aged 6 months and older. Appointments are recommended. Call 665-7841 to schedule yours today. Walk-ins will be accommodated. Insurance billing available, and most major insurances are accepted. Learn more at yanktonmedicalclinic.com. Seasonal flu shots. Just one more way Yankton Medical Clinic provides so much care, so close to home.
The other day, a gal came into the UPS store to drop off a package. On her way out, she noticed the print sample wall and asked if we could print invitations. The answer was, yes, we can. Hi, this is Doug at the UPS store in Yankton and Vermilion. For over 7 years now, the UPS store has been helping hundreds of customers with their printing needs. From basic copies to business cards and invitations to posters, we can print them. Stop out and ask about our current print specials and see how we can help with your printing needs.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's keep talking Yankton Bucks football. Coach Decker, Coach Schwach in the studio. Coaches, good morning.
Morning, Bryce.
Told every coach, continue telling you guys congratulations on a trip to the Dakota Dome. I know the season's not over, but still congratulations. You know, a conference title, so to speak, if you're looking at it from a pro side, so you still celebrate, and it's a big deal. And it was a great final game at Crane Youngworth Field last night. Yankton 33, T 25. And I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll start with Coach Decker and talk about these receivers for Yankton. They had a pretty good night. You know, they were pretty good. Tucker Gilmore, 6 receptions, 95 yards, and a big touchdown. Carson Ness. Actually, we'll finish off with Carson Ness. Austin Goebel, big reception, a 40-yard touchdown. Matthew Sheldon, the go-ahead touchdown in the beginning of the game, 53 yards. And then, of course, Carson Ness, 6 receptions, 94 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, but one at the far near side pylon, or the front pylon, and then one just kind of in the back of the end zone. 2 great grabs, and also some huge catches, not in the end zone, just as far as moving the sticks.
Right.
Another great night for Ness.
Well, I mean, Carson Ness is, I want to say, the best wide receiver in the state without hesitation, in my opinion. I think he, in the double A level, you know, he is such a great, well, overall, I'll say it overall, man. I love that kid. He is such a great wide receiver, and when he has all the confidence in the world, like he came out that second half last night, he did such a great job of doing all the little things that we've talked about all year. So Carson really showed out last night, and I'm proud of the way he competed in the first half, but then to flip the switch from the second half after talking about some of the adjustments we need to make, that is what I'm most proud of with him. And Tucker Gilmore just being that senior leader wide receiver, he had another great game, and he was taking some shots, and you know, with Shelley running really hard and getting that touchdown was awesome, and Goebel doing his thing too on the big 40-yard catch and run. We just have a good group of wide receivers there, and but some of those guys that didn't get so many catches, you know, Peyton Peterson was running hard, and Connor Slabo was doing a lot for us last night too that not a lot of people saw. He was going across the middle, and those big T linebackers were decking him across the middle. So, but that opened up another wide receiver. So a lot of those things come together and good things happen. But I was pretty proud of the way these guys played. I thought that, especially Carson, by far one of his better games this year.
And the credit to the guys that didn't have catches last night, their credit could be the fact that they still had to be accounted for, right? Exactly. By that T defense. They opened up things for the other receivers. First thing I'll talk about, Goebel. I don't think anyone's going to catch Austin Goebel if he's in space. And if he has any space toward a pylon, he made a beeline for it and just showed his speed. It's just super impressive. I think he's just as fast with the football as without. He's just a super quick receiver, and he showed that again last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin just kind of being who he was, you know, and just a fast guy who, you know, he's kind of getting more and more physical every game. And this game, he started being more physical even on the defensive side too. And, you know, he didn't back down from anything this game. And that was really fun to watch. It's fun to see these guys starting to develop more and more and more every game. And you're like, oh my gosh, keep putting it together and something special's happening here. So that's really cool.
Tucker Gilmore lightly assisted off the field in the first half, or near the end of the first half, I believe it was. Came back out, heavily taped knee, but still was able to show out, get some big receptions. Just kind of shows you his character and his grit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that just shows what kind of football player he is. He doesn't care if he's hobbling on one leg. He's going to go out there and give it his all. And, you know, Lucas Kamshoff had a great night throwing and was just on last night, putting those balls right where the wide receivers needed to catch them. And Tucker was catching in tight spaces and taking hits. And you couldn't ask anything more for a senior wide receiver. He was a really valuable leader for our team last night.
He also laid some tough hits on the defensive side of the ball as well. Sometimes I look at who made the tackle. I'm like, oh, that's Tucker Gilmore. All right.
Right. And a lot of these guys, like I know Carson, Austin, and Tucker, and even Matthew in the receiving category for stats here, those guys are playing two ways, and that's really tough to do. But these guys are tough guys, and seeing them develop into that mindset of this is our game here, that's pretty special.
No, absolutely. And Coach Schwach, the defensive line last night, we knew going into that game, and I'm sure you would agree with this, that they're going to have their hands full. With this wing offense from T, it's no secret they like to run, and they run all the time and nonstop. And you were never going to fully stop them. 320 yards on the ground. However, the big thing about that is, and Coach Olson alluded to this earlier in the show, they bent, but they never broke. They let T get first down stuff, but they made T work hard. They were on the field for 33 minutes last night, and that's sure give credit to T for moving the sticks, but Yankton's defense was out there the entire time too and getting the big stops when it counted.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And Coach Decker's heard me say this at both JV and varsity level all the time, is bend but don't break, and that's my general defensive philosophy. And against T, I mean, yeah, there's a reason I don't have the stat sheet in front of me. I think I burned mine right before this. But, yeah, we knew going in, and give huge credit to Tyson Prouty and Edley Amaro at the ends. A lot of times people look at the defensive line and kind of treat them as the not brightest part of the defense, but defensive end against a team like T, that triple option is probably the hardest position anyone had to play last night. I'm not making excuses for those guys, but that quarterback held that mesh point for so long with the fullback, and I'm sure if it was an NFL game, it'd be one of those where the camera was following the wrong guy with the ball. So caught us a few times, made adjustments, and they
fooled me like
figured
3
it
times.
out. They really. It's. I mean, it had me fooled too. I mean, it's. I mean, that's what they do. They do it, and they do it well. Just, I always told them I'd rather give up a 5-yard fullback run than a 45-yard quarterback run. So made sure to try and bottle him up as best we could. I mean, big sophomore kid, so he's going to be a pain here in the next couple of years to handle. And then on the inside, Derek Beal and Riker Frang just did their thing. We worked all week, just not get turned and withstand double teams. And, I mean, that's what they did. It's just kind of a matter of holding on tough. If we get singled up, I think that's when you start hearing their names get tackle calls. And halftime adjustment, we said, well, they're running. Who do we have? And there's a little freshman sitting in the corner. Well, not so little. Not so little freshman sitting in the corner, Austin Conway. And in not so many words and little radio edited, I told him, your only job is to make that center's life miserable. So get in there. And that sums back to, I think, on Monday, and this is a compliment towards Austin Conway, not a slight to Mark Cottle. In one-on-one drills, he did a little grab and shakedown on Mark Cottle. And I'm like, oh, this kid's Austin's kind of getting it. And so he came in and did a good job stuffing up the middle. And all week in practice, it was a full team effort. And those receivers sure bailed us out a bunch. And that's kind of what we all love about this team. I know everyone's probably puts it in their own words, but mine is somebody's going to pick up the slack. So last night, the offense played incredible. Special teams made some good plays, and we just wanted to not bend but not break.
I think defensively too, give credit to the defense too, where they made the stops when it mattered, especially in that fourth quarter, and I think that was big. That kind of changed some things within the game, and it was tough. It was a little bit tougher game defensively, but when it mattered, we showed out, and that was really good for our defense.
Some knockdowns for Edley.
That's why I was just about to get to that. Just some setting out on the stats
too.
I mean, if you, I guess World Series just got over. If you look at it as a baseball game, we put our closer in the 9th inning, and those ends, Prouty and Edley did what they do best, and they got the pressure on. They get their hands up. I mean, all week in practice, Coach Decker's yelling, "Don't let the quarterback throw," and they come back, and I just say, "Hey, keep putting your hands up." So
I'm showing you, Decker. You mentioned baseball. I was going to say, why would you remind me that baseball's over? I literally have a countdown on my phone. Here, I'll go ahead and show. Yeah. Baseball opening day is 4 months, 23 days. I love baseball. All right, so you had to remind me of my pain. The no more baseball, but
have the Twins. Yeah, get closer like our DNs close that one out. Yeah, so
too soon.
And then, like I said last week too. I mean, a holding call is basically a sack, and we got that at one of the end on Prouty. It got washed away because Carson made a really good interception, but yeah, got it when it mattered, and we would have liked them to start passing a little bit earlier, but
just a good game.
Yeah,
I know it's just kind of cliche, but it just was a good game, a good game to call. I'm assuming a coach was exciting because regardless, back and forth, as we mentioned before we went on air. Just the one punt. But yeah, there are a lot of yards, but defensively, it just didn't feel like a bad game. Maybe from a coaching staff, you look at that differently than we do. It's just, it seemed like T never dominated Yankton by any means, and even vice versa. It was just kind of a back and forth affair, and T just notorious for raking up yards, and they did that last night, but Yankton able to just get just enough more there for the victory. I guess just closing thoughts from you two, and I'll let you get on to film, because I know that Coach Muth wants to get you guys out of here eventually.
Well, I just want to say that, 8 years is a pretty long time, and going back to the Dome, this means a lot to our team, and these seniors have worked so hard, and I know you've probably heard that a lot already, but these guys have worked so hard, and they deserve it all. And I think there's motivation there, especially versus the team who we're playing. Coming in at a point where we are at, I think is the perfect spot to be in. And there's no doubt in my mind that, some good could happen. But we're going to take the business-like mentality that I think those seniors have, and we're going to enjoy this last week playing football together. I think it coming from it at a competitive level, those guys already have that mentality, but also that, the other thought is, this is our last week of practice together with these guys, so we're going to enjoy it.
All right, as you should. Again, congratulations. Go get to work. Thank you for coming in here in the Coach's Corner.
Great. Thanks, Bryce.
All right, this is the Coach's Corner. We'll continue after this break.
Don't wait for the snow and cold to get here. Now is the time to get your garage and shop doors repaired and serviced before the winter season. It's time to call the Garage Door Professionals. This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We will service your door for less problems this winter. So if your garage or shop doors need replacing or just a tune-up, get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer, Upper Midwest Garage Door. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Everyone loves something different about our buffet, which is good because buffet has something for everyone. This is Annie from Yankton Pizza Ranch. Come in and fill your plate with good food that makes you feel good inside. Don't see your favorite pizza on the buffet? Request it using Buffet Your Way. We'll make it, bake it, and give you the very first slice. Grab the country's best chicken paired with tasty sides and finish off with sweet cactus bread at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
Do you really think it's a good idea to buy insurance off the internet? After all, it is insurance. It's not a commodity like a toaster. It's a contract to protect what you value most: your home, your car, your business, your health, and even your life. You need a professional, in-person agent to make sure you have the right coverage to fit your family's needs. Schedule an appointment with us today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
I'm Father Lacey, and hiking allows me to show my faithful spirit. Being out in nature allows all of those things to work together in my head so I can see how it's all connected. To be able to take these things that I'm pondering and draw them back into the ministry, into that life here at Mount Marty.
Show your spirit at Mount Marty University and schedule a tour today at showyourspiritmmu.com.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 3, 7, or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 3, 7, or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier Checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Wherever you are in life, you've got plans. You need health insurance for today and for the future. You need Avera Health Plans. Coverage that connects you to community resources, fitness center incentives, and health coaching. You need a health plan that provides solutions for your business and for your family. Learn more at averahealthplans.com. Avera Health Plans, moving health forward.
All right, thanks to our Yankton football coaches for coming in here this morning, and congratulations again to all of Yankton football, a trip to the Dakota Dome, and you can catch that on Friday, a 7 o'clock kickoff from the Dakota Dome, 5 o'clock pregame on KYNT and KYNTV. Special thanks to SDPB for giving us video rights for the game, allowing us to continue what we've done all season, and that is bringing you live audio and video coverage of the Yankton Bucks. Again, KYNT, KYNTV, 5 o'clock pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff for the 11AA state championship. Turn our attention to Yankton Gazelles volleyball, and they just finished up their regular season. They traveled to Watertown. That was on Thursday. They lost in 4 sets. It was 25-22. The Yankton won the second set 26-24. But then they lost the last two, 25-17 and 15. Yankton now 12-14 on the season. They are number 14 as of right now in the Class AA standings. If it would hold true, they would be traveling to Sioux Falls, Washington on Thursday. And no matter where they go, we will have that coverage for you on KYNT and KYNTV. I was able to catch up with Coach Taylor Stacy of Yankton Gazelles volleyball yesterday afternoon, and go ahead and play that interview for you right now.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Let's start talking Yankton Gazelles volleyball. Coach Taylor Stacy joins us here on the Pizza Ranch phone line. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
All right, so the season is basically over as far as the regular season is concerned. We have some games to wrap up on Saturday. We're recording this on Friday, but as it sits right now, the Yankton Gazelles in 14th in the AA standings and winning 9 of the last 10 games, Coach. That is a way to end the season for the Gazelles. Let's talk about that real quick. It was kind of 50-50 throughout the entire season, but that last 10 matchups, the Gazelles just caught fire. Kind of what went into that?
Yeah, so that really just started with our senior night against Pierre. The girls had so much energy, so much momentum because it was their senior night. It was the night all about them. And so winning that game in 3 sets to 0 was huge. And it just created this momentum and confidence going into the next 9 matches that we won. And so that's really what started our winning streak. And so each game then we were just like, let's keep it going. Let's keep winning. Let's keep this streak alive. And the girls brought that energy, brought the confidence with them, knowing that they can win and that they want to win and they want to try to bump us up as high as we can get into the seedings. And so they worked hard, and yeah, it's incredible that we were able to get 9 straight wins towards the end of the season.
Well, I'm sure you're not too surprised. I remember one of our earliest conversations this season, you had mentioned how you were looking for confidence to kind of snowball into the season, right? And that's exactly what seemed to have happened.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And confidence is what we were kind of missing at the start of the season, especially with some really tough teams to start out with. And so just seeing that confidence glow now towards the end of the season was awesome.
Last matchup was at Watertown, and it was a loss to end the regular season. However, how was it going back to your old stomping grounds, but as a coach of the Yankton Gazelles, had to be a little surreal for you, right?
Yeah, it was pretty fun walking into the gym and just remembering myself playing on that court. And so I just knew like I wanted to win just as bad as the girls did last night. And so we worked together, and the girls fought hard and they put it all out on the court. And so I'm really proud of how they played, but it was fun to go back into that purple gym.
And as a coaching staff, how do you try to bottle up this energy and this confidence going into the Sodex 16? Because you have a little bit of a layoff right here before the playoff starts.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of how are you looking to bottle that energy?
Yeah, just knowing that we took a set from the number 4 team last night, knowing that we can do that to the number 3 seed if that's who we end up matching up with next week. And so just keeping that going and keeping that confidence up. And so in practice, just hoping that the girls work hard and keep their confidence, keep working hard, knowing that next week could very well be our last game, or we could very well have 3 more games after that. And so just kind of reminiscing on the season and working hard towards come all the way through.
And Coach, our next conversations to finish up the fall season will all be about Gazelles varsity playoff volleyball, but I do want you for last time this season to speak on your sub-varsity, just from the progression from when you entered as the head coach of the Gazelles volleyball program for what you saw to where they ended up. Whatever level we're talking about, do you like kind of the Gazelles volleyball health?
Yeah, so from freshmen through seniors, there's some great growth going into the upcoming years as well. I mean, four freshmen are on the varsity bench, and that's just incredible. Usually, you don't see a lot of freshmen on varsity benches, and so it's just knowing that we do have some really good athletes coming up is awesome. And with the JV team, they got some more wins towards the end of the season as well, and so seeing that confidence and those girls playing together really gave me confidence going into the upcoming years as well. And so our freshman and sophomore teams also picked up wins, and we got some different girls in there, hoping that they'll grow a little bit into their volleyball skills for the upcoming years.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a very successful regular season. I know it's not over yet, but I still wanted to say congratulations. Wherever the Gazelles go for the SODEX 16, we will be following you guys there, broadcasting that matchup. So make sure you catch up with Braden Butler in the post game. And again, congratulations. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
All right, thanks to Coach Taylor Stacy for joining me on the Pizza Ranch phone line yesterday. Always appreciate her taking the time to catch us up on Yankton Gazelles volleyball. We will have that SODEX 16 matchup, no matter where it is, on KYNT and KYNTV Thursday. Stay tuned on the opponent and time, of course. And as I mentioned before, Yankton football. We will be at the Dakota Dome on Friday, 5 o'clock pregame start, 7 o'clock kickoff on KYNT and KYNTV. Thanks to all the coaches for coming in, the sponsors making the show possible, and of course to you, the listener or viewer on KYNT and KYNTV, whether it is YouTube, Facebook, or our smart TV app. Go Bucks, go Gazelles, go enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Bryce Ladwig. This has been the Coach's Corner.